All right, folks. Futon Kitchen, episode 1 of the new title, but episode 5 if you've been paying attention. Haven't seen you guys in about a year or so. My name is Taj Ayana. Been doing all right. Sorry it took me so long to get back to you, but I'm here with my new co-host, and we're going to talk to this guy today. His name is Chris Keller.
So, how's it going?
And what is it that you do, Chris?
Taj, I do a lot of things. I mean, I do. It's a loaded question, brother. My day job, I'm a product developer for a athletic apparel company called ASRV. We're based out of Carlsbad. We got stores all over Beverly Hills, Soho. We're in Venice, UTC up here in San Diego. But yeah, I work in the design department. You know, I make products. You know me, I'm always wearing it. It's pretty much all I wear. They give me a lot of free clothes, so you know. But yeah, outside of that, you know, I've been a business owner for a long time. But yeah, you know, I have fun. I think that's my main priority, having fun. You know.
Yeah. Hell yeah! I think me and you, we've known each other about what's going on 6 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, and shout out to Zay, who's still part of the show, but we'll have him on in future episodes. He didn't want to come through today because he's light skinned, so yeah. So we'll get back to Zay one day.
You better.
But yeah, I told you I wanted you on the pod, and you never denied me, man. So welcome.
Man. Thank you.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is I mean, like I said, we're gonna shoot the shit, but let's start from the beginning. Like, where are you from?
Yeah. Born and raised in Denver.
Okay.
I mean, I guess maybe not Denver. It's always a generalization when you're from Colorado. You say Denver.
Yeah.
I'm from Centennial, like Littleton.
Okay.
Spent a little time in Boulder. Spent some time in Breckenridge, up in the mountains. Was there for 35 years. And then, yeah, long time. I was one of those people, Taj, I swear I'd never moved from Colorado. And then came to San Diego one time, and within like the first week, I was like, I'm selling my house. I was like, I'm out of there.
Oh wow.
So yeah, but yeah, I was born out there. Loved it. Lots of sports, you know. But yeah, that's where home is. Home's Colorado. So
I was gonna ask if CU was your alma mater, but you have a more interesting story.
Exactly. You already know. I wish I could say CU was, but you know, I love CU. Boulder was my home for a long time. As a high school kid, I used to go party at CU a bunch. You know, like, you know, 420 is a big thing at CU, and you know,
I bet.
It's I mean, it's you know, it's where people do that. So we go up there a bunch, but no, yeah. I did not go to college. I actually dropped out of high school. So, but yeah, you know, I think that path actually went well for me. I wouldn't suggest everyone go that way, but no, it worked out for me. So
what was high school like that kind of like led to the dropout?
Yeah, I went to a fairly well-off high school in Colorado. It's called Cherry Creek.
Okay.
Huge sports program. I played lacrosse, baseball. I was a horrible student.
Same.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, I think a lot of it is like AD. You don't realize till you get older. Like a lot of it's like ADD, you know, ADHD, something like that.
Exactly.
You become an adult and things start to make sense, and you're like, I'm not a bad student. I just can't pay attention. I can't read a book, you know.
Same. I couldn't keep my head up.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, I mean, at that point, waking up at 5 a.m. to go catch a bus, it's like, you know, I don't even want to do that at 40 years old. It's like I'm not doing that at 16, you know. But yeah, so I went to Cherry Creek High School. It was wild. I mean, there's like Ferraris in our parking lots and like Hummers and crazy car. Like it was like the richest of the rich kids, and I was not well off.
Private or public?
It was public.
Okay.
Yeah, it was public.
Damn.
Yeah, we were on like Wheaties boxes and shit, bro. Like kids were moving in from out of state to go to our lacrosse and our baseball programs just because we were like absolutely crushing it for athletes. We put out a bunch of MLB players, bunch of NFL, pro tennis players, lacrosse players, all across the board. Like, you didn't go there for school. Like you went there to play sports, you know.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I was not well off, so you know, I didn't fit in very much. You know, I didn't have the money for the Abercrombie and the Hollister and you know, the Air Jordans and any of that stuff.
You weren't prepped out.
I wasn't prepped out. I mean, I tried, you know, like but yeah.
How many chokers did you have?
You know, I had some Poca shells. You know, yeah, I got after it. You know, it's funny. I thought U.S. Polo Association for the longest time was real Ralph Lauren until one kid told me in the locker room, he goes, "You're wearing fake polo," and I was like,
"Oh my god!"
I was like, "Bro, this is as close as I can get." So. But no, I didn't fit in there too well. But yeah, I mean, it was a great experience nonetheless. You know, during that time, I started playing professional paintball. I mean, as weird as it sounds, like most people don't know it's a sport that people do competitively, but I got into that at 16 and I went pro at 16. I was the youngest pro player in the nation. But you have to travel just about every weekend.
Yeah.
So I was getting horrible grades. My counselor's like pulling me aside and they're like, you're out for a week and then you're coming back. They're like, you either need to dedicate yourself to high school or you need to, leave. And, when you're 16, 17 and you're not making money, but you're getting flown across the country and you're getting, like food money and paint, but you're signing autographs for kids. You're like, your shit doesn't stink.
When you turn pro at that age, granted, like that organization, that paintball organization, like if you're going to turn pro at that age, wouldn't they have like things in place for like, what I'm saying? Maybe you need some homeschooling or maybe you have like a tutor on the road with you, something to like help you get through the process so you can finish school with everybody else instead of it being something like it's either going to be here or there. You know what I mean?
That's a great point. And that wasn't, paintball didn't have a lot of structure. There wasn't a lot of organization at times. Like there's not a lot of money in it. I mean, we see, what is it like? Sandbag tossing on ESPN. So, I watch all the time and I'm like, there's sports that, should not be on ESPN and paintball should, but it's a hard sport to watch.
Right.
So when I left, there was no structure. There was no like, we're going to give you a homeschool. We're going to give you a tutor or you're going to be training and like studying on the road. There's none of that.
High school, paintball, but you said school was good up until the whole paintball thing. How'd your family feel?
To be honest, I was not great in school ever. Like I never did good in school. Like it was a struggle. Didn't have the most structured home life. So who knows if that played a part in it, but I didn't dedicate myself to school. Like I wasn't doing the homework. I wasn't studying for tests. Like, I was ditching class. I was chasing girls. I wasn't doing the stuff that I should have been doing,
Right.
But yeah, when I left to go play paintball, I thought I was going to make a bunch of money. And, of course, sponsors at that time were like, yeah, we need you on the road. We want you to come play. You're going to make a bunch of money. And I left and did not make any money.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, it wasn't too long after that I realized, like, man, I should have stayed in school and gone to college.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, seems like it kind of worked out for you. But, all right, so 16, I guess you chose paintball. You got siblings?
I do.
How many?
Yeah. So I have I got a sister. So I had a brother, unfortunately passed away from a drug overdose. But
wow.
I mean, it's, he was a lot younger than me and my sister's a lot younger than me, like 10 years separated, like a huge difference.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, she still lives in Colorado. Love her to death, just because of the age difference, you don't spend too much time with them. It's like you're already like out on your own, it's like you're living somewhere else, you're doing your own thing. You don't really have time to like hang out with them and like go do stuff. But yeah.
My mom and pop.
What's that?
Mom and pop.
So it's, man, I'm trying to think of how to describe that. No mom and pop. I mean, I do. I shouldn't say that. I do have a mom, but I don't have a close relationship with her. I never did. I mean, certainly love her, but she was doing her own thing. She probably shouldn't have had a kid. But it's funny you touch on that because that's actually like one of my favorite parts about my life and my story is that when my mom had me, she was working at a company and she was dating a guy right when I was born, and they broke up like 3 weeks after I was born, and the guy was not like, if you ever met him, he's like not the kind of guy that you'd think would be like a dad or like, hey, he's business minded, like nerdy number guy, like very, very dry. And
right.
I think he recognized that it wasn't a great place for me to be in her care all the time. Yeah. So even though they'd broken up, he was coming to her and being like, yo, I'll watch your kid on the weekends. And she was being like, oh, I'm gonna go party. I'm gonna go do whatever. Yeah. And he would hang out. And he kept doing it. It's like 1 year, 2 year, 3. So it's like, you grow up with this guy. And so even to this day, I consider my dad, he's my role model. He's like, he's everything to me. But it's weird though. I don't call him dad. I call him Larry. People always trip on it. They're like, that's your old man. And I'm like, yeah, but I've been calling him Larry since I've been like, as soon as I could talk, but, right. But no, it worked out great. I mean, truly, like people hear that sometimes and they're like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, man, I wouldn't have traded that in for the world. Like I won the lottery with that guy. So.
Right. Am I tripping or so this wouldn't be your biological father?
No.
But you said he was with your mom when you were born.
Yeah. Yes.
Any connection with the biological father?
Yeah. Ironically enough. Yeah. So he was working the biological father. They owned a liquor store.
Your dad. I know where
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. My dad. Yeah. My dad. So him and his family owned a liquor store, and my dad at that too. I call him my dad. He had a cash register company, and they were renting space above the liquor store. They had this open office, and I guess statute of limitations. I can say this now. part of his cash register business was that he built cash registers so that liquor store owners could kind of like make taxes and money go away, and liquor stores loved it. So he was like, he was doing his thing, and so my mom was dating my biological father, and obviously they broke up, and then she was dating who I consider my father now.
Yep.
Broke up, about 3 weeks after I was born. And, he was, like I said, he's just a great guy. He was like, man, someone needs to be watching over this guy. And he'd sacrifice his weekends. He'd sacrifice his nights. Like, dude, I remember being in 5th grade, like, again, not good at school at all, like horrible. Can't do math to this day. I can't do math. And this man would be at a library till 9 p.m. just beating algebra into my brain, helping me with homework, like, for years. Like, he was always working or running businesses.
Okay.
Or with me, getting me to where I needed to be. So it was a little, it's a little unfortunate. I realize in retrospect, Taj, it's one of the things I wish I would have graduated high school and gone to college, not so much for myself, but for him to be like, hey man, all the stuff that you sacrificed, like it went to something. Yeah. But later in life, I
put
think
something in his hand, like, hey,
exactly. Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah. He sacrificed a ton. And I mean, that's the story of a lot of like parents, like a lot of parents and their kids, tons of parents sacrifice, but like, I had a front row seat for that and I didn't realize it till I got older, but man, that guy sacrificed everything, for my well-being, and still does to this day. I mean, the dude's the most selfless guy I've ever met, but yeah, I was blessed, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
So while he's looking out for you, he didn't get married or have any other kids with anyone else. It was kind of just taking care of you.
Dude, I've never seen him date a woman. Yeah, that man.
Wild.
And it's wild. He's a great guy. But he cares about business.
You low-key just exposed that man, like on.
Yeah, I know, right? No, yeah, and he's cool. Yeah, no, it's funny. He tells me.
I've never seen him, but I'm sure he gets hosed.
I mean, he probably does. He's keeping it underground. But no, he's about his money and he's about his son. And like, I love it. Like, he's the smartest man I've ever met. He's actually Mensa, so I mean, it's not even that I'm just like numbers wise, he's brilliant. But he's the smartest, most well thought out, caring man I've ever met in my entire life, Taj. And he cares about his money and he cares about his son. So I can't state it enough, man. I was blessed. Like,
it's good. How often do you see him?
I moved from Colorado. He used to live in Colorado with me, obviously, until I moved to San Diego about 5 years ago. When I moved, he retired and he moved to New Mexico. So it's been really hard. I was used to seeing that man every day. Yeah. Like every day. And I mean, we'd go to bars, we'd go to dinner, we were traveling, like we were best friends. I mean, we still are, but like we were best friends every day. And he retired and moved to New Mexico. So we maybe see each other like twice a year, which, it's better than none, So, but yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, I talk about he's still helping you out with math and all that.
Oh, bro. I mean, like, dude, it's all the time. I mean, like, it's, he's great with computers and he's great with numbers. So, even though we got Chat GPT and shit nowadays, it's like I find myself instead of Chat GPT and I'm like, I'll call my old man up and be like, put me on, tell me how to do this, and he loves it too. It's like, I think he gets a kick out of like his son hitting him up and still being that like support fixture for his son, So, no, he's a great guy.
Cool. What about, what's Thanksgiving look like? Do you guys all collab up? Like, when's the last time him and your mom spoke? Like, in any regard.
That's actually it's funny, and it's one of the areas I have a ton of respect for him, Taj. He me and my mom don't get along. I don't talk to her rarely ever. Dude, I'll be candid with you. He loves my mom like as a friend. He cares a lot for her, so he helps her a ton. He talks to her probably every day. As savage as this sounds, bro, I probably wouldn't talk to my mom if it wasn't for the fact that he's like in my ear being like, hey, it's your mom's birthday, dude. Will you call your mom? It's Thanksgiving. Will you call your mom? And I tell him all the time, I'm like, bro, you're my God. Like, I'm like, anyone else, I'd be like, hell no. I'm not fucking calling that woman. For him, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna call. So, when we were in Colorado, we had big Thanksgivings. My aunt, she was like the homemaker. She had all the different parts of the family around. It's funny. We used to party at Thanksgiving. Like, we were doing like keg stands and like smoking weed and playing like beer pong and I mean, we got after it, bro. Like, it was a big party. But yeah, when I moved to San Diego, it's like it's the first time in my life where I'm just like Thanksgiving, I'm just chilling on the couch or I'm in my business, like doing stuff. So, but yeah.
What was coming up? What was life like at home? If you don't mind me digging a little deeper, like what I would say what led to this disdain for your mother?
Yeah, she you know, man, there's so many angles that she first and foremost, I mean, she was an alcoholic. Like she, you know, she was always drinking. And I get it, you know, it's like, I mean, I'm not like, I get that that's a struggle for people. But, you know, like.
As we drink beers on a podcast.
I know. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. But no, I mean, she got after it, bro. Like she was drinking like multiple bottles of wine a day. Like really getting after it, you know, like DUIs, like just couldn't hold a job. Like, you know, it wasn't a good role model. And, you know, it didn't strike me until I was an adult that like, I was talking to someone at a convention in Vegas one day and they said, remember our lunch sacks when we go to school? Mm-hmm. It's so weird how like people say things and you don't expect it. And I started thinking, I was like, man, I never had a lunch sack. And I started thinking, I was like, my mom never sent me to school with lunch. And like, I really, and it's a crazy story because this comes full circle, but I realized like, that's where I got my hustle. Cause like I had to hustle kids in the lunchroom to be like, yo man, I'll help you out with your homework. Can you slide me like a $5 and let me go get some food? You know, like it's crazy how that shit comes full circle. You know, it's like, you know, it's unintended consequences. My old man's always saying that. He's like, there's unintended consequences.
No free lunch in Colorado? Because I had free lunch in Maryland.
Nah, bro.
I was a free lunch kid my rich ass for a very long time.
Nah,
oh, yeah, correct. Yeah,
bro, we had like Chick-fil-A and Subways and like...
Oh, yeah, you guys had a fucking mall in your cafeteria.
We had a mall in the cafeteria, bro. You know, and it's like you roll in there and it's like... But of course, all those kids have money. You know, those kids had debit cards and, you know, their parents were giving them money, you know? So it's like I recognized that I could go in and be like, I know you got money. And I know you don't want to write that biology paper. Let me get that, you know? So, but yeah, no, she was distant. You know, we didn't have a great relationship. She married a guy when I was 8. I didn't get along with the guy very well. So I was kind of just, it's weird. I was in this house, you know, it's like, I don't like you. I don't like the guy you married, but I kind of got to be here. And that's kind of why paintball was a great thing for me because, you know, at 16, I was getting sent around the country and it's like for this weekend, I didn't have to be there. You know, I was like, I'm in Phoenix or I'm in San Diego or I'm in LA or I'm wherever playing paintball. And it's like, it was just released. So, but during the weekends and at night, it was great because Larry, my who I consider my father, would come and get me. I mean, even if it was going to the library, you know, and like doing homework or like, you know, he was the greatest guy taught. You know, he's got very specific tastes in food, but he would always ask me to get in the car and be like, we can eat wherever you want. And I realize now it's because he probably knew like I wasn't getting lunch at school, you know. He was like, man, he's like, wherever you want to go, like, you know. So, but yeah, definitely a little bit weird upbringing. So yeah.
Now I'm understanding. So it wasn't. Sounds like I guess it wasn't too much clashing with your mom. It was more so of like you had Larry in your life and you were just seeing the differences in what it was like to hang out with him as opposed to what it was like at home with your mom and whatever guy she was with. And so like from an early age you were like, oh man, like I don't like this lifestyle. Something's not right here. 100%. That's good that you picked that up early because I know like, you know, most kids, they don't really start like really judging their parents and kind of like, you know what I mean, until they're in their teens. You know what I mean? So yeah, so to pick that up at 8 years old is good.
Oh, dude, the contract. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Like the contract, I was able to see a role model and like someone that I knew had a backbone and was respectable and made good decisions. And then in the same time, I could see someone who was doing the exact opposite, the exact polar opposite. You know, and yeah, exactly, man. It's like at some point you realize what's going on. You're like, I know you're my family, and I know that like. I'm supposed to like love you, but I'm like something ain't adding up here, you know?
Right.
So, but yeah, you know, I mean, life ain't perfect. So.
Okay. Hey, what were your homies like?
I had great, you know, it's funny. I was just talking with friends about this the other day. Majority of my high school was white. And for whatever reason, I never figured it out, but I was always hanging out with the black kids at school. Like I was, you know, which was weird. It's like
there's no need to butter me up. I mean,
no.
Like, I mean, I know.
But no, it was.
I know I'm the host, but goddamn.
No, it was. You know, I had great friends, and like, you know, I didn't have a lot of them in high school, but like, you know, the best friends that I made were paintball. Like, you know, which was weird because they were 24, 25, 26. Like, they were older than me, you know, and it's like, here I'm the 16-year-old. Like, we go to Vegas, and they'd be like, we're going to the strip club, or we're going to the casino. I'd be like, I can't go. And I'd realize like my good friends, because they would like sacrifice their Vegas trip and they'd be like, yo, we're going to hang out with Keller. He can't go to any of those places. And they'd order pizza at the hotel room, you know? And like a lot of those friends, man, I'm like still just absolutely just all of my best friends in life are friends that came from paintball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, some rich black friends.
At that school, yeah, dude. At that school, it was wild. A few of them became Broncos players, and it's like they, nowadays I still hit them up. I'm like, can I hold something? Like, I know you got it. Like,
can I hold something?
I'm like, hey, like slide me a few thousand, But no, yeah, I've been blessed. I've had great friends and still do to this day. It's funny. I keep my Facebook numbers and my Instagram numbers low. So many people, especially in San Diego, bro. People got like 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 friends, and I'm like, I know you don't.
I was like that as a youth. You know what I'm saying? Like, when social media first popped off, like, you're not too much older than me. Yeah, when you're young, it's like just rack up the numbers. 5,000 friends. I remember
right?
I literally had 5,000 friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
And like I can't remember, like I've had multiple Instagram accounts. And then, yeah, as you get older, it's just like I got a fucking profile full of people I don't give a fuck about.
Right.
And most of them don't give a fuck about me either.
It's weird.
What are we doing?
And you're like, who is this? I don't know who this person is. And and don't get me wrong, I get it. Like, there's something enthralling about looking at your page and seeing a bunch of engagement, seeing a bunch of likes. Like, but to me, yeah, it's like, I love my friends, and I really enjoy, like, every few months I get on my Instagram, bro, and I just start hacking. And I'm like, have I not reached out to you in a few months? Have I not seen you in like 6 months? I'm like, you're out of here. So, but
I've been in the same group chat with like my closest friends from back home for years.
Exactly. It's bro, you get it. So you get it. It's like, and I'm sure like females have this too, but as guys, it's like, man, that group chat, whether it's on Instagram or it's just message it, like, bro, that to me is a litmus test of like who your boys are, because you're chirping all day, you're sending memes all day, it's like you're talking shit all day, but also, there's that rare time when a homie comes in and he's like, hey, my girlfriend broke up with me, or hey, I got fired from work, or something's going bad, and all the homies kind of surround him, with luck, but yeah, it's, man, the group messages for me are always where it sounds so superficial to say, but I know who my true homies are because they're the ones in the group chat. Yeah. They're the ones hearting the messages, reaching out to you, sending the good memes, so.
Yeah. I mean, some of my closest friends, we don't really talk on the phone that much. We're not always texting, but we're not always responding to each other in the group chat.
Exactly.
But it's good to know, like, you have a certain core of people that, like, once or twice a year, they're just you're gonna get a random call.
Yeah.
Or you're going to make a random call. It's like, hey, just checking in. Exactly. How you doing? What's good?
And that's all it is. That's the crazy thing. It's not like, hey, checking in. By the way, I need some help. It's, hey, how's it going, man?
Exactly.
Like, I just had one of those calls the other day from a buddy. He's like, bro, I haven't heard from you in a minute. How's life? And we just chop it up for 2 hours. And it's like, that's how I know who my good friends are. But yeah, all those friends came from paintball. So.
Oh yeah. A lot of toxicity in those group chats.
I mean, it gets wild, bro. You know how it goes.
The toxicity, the crazy memes, the debates, the ridiculous debates. Oh my God. Me and my friends have we've argued we argued over Drake and Kendrick for over a decade.
Oh, that has to be in the guys' group. If that debate isn't in a guy's group chat, Taj, it's not a true group chat for guys.
Over a decade. And then towards the end of that beef, I just came out and said, I was like, hey, look, because I've been riding for Kendrick all this time. Yeah. Man, don't even get me started. The biggest dick rider.
Hey, I mean, bro.
But I also love Drake. I love Drake.
Yeah,
he's my number 2 or number 3. I think I got Cole above him. But
you got it. Yeah, Cole comes way
towards the end of that beef. I just came in the group chat. I was like, hey, look. I was like, if we were to put our entire argument over the years, over just put everything out that had to do with this particular argument. I was like, you guys would come out looking crazy.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I am certain I would come out looking genius. Obviously, I'm gonna rep for myself. I was like, I would look like a fucking genius on everything I said about Kendrick, everything I said about Drake's music. Yeah. And I feel like all that shit just kind of came to a head during this beef, and those conversations started to happen. And I'm listening to people talk about shit. And I'm like, I fucking said that about Drake 5 years ago. Now, now they're just noticing this, but.
Well, now we got receipts.
Side tangent.
We can scroll up. It's like that shit happens in specifically the guys' Instagram chat that I'm in with all my close homies. That same shit happens, and it's like, now I got receipts. Now I got time at night. I'll scroll back a few years and screenshot that shit, bring it right back to the front. I'm like, remember when you said this, bro? Like, that's crazy. You're switching.
I know. I know you say you don't use Discord a lot. Discord, you can type in certain words.
Oh, really?
And and it'll pull up every time you use that word throughout the entirety of the chat.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so if you had a particular subject, you just type in that and then hit search. It'll pull up like you and everybody else in that group will show up for using that particular word or set of words. And yeah, I got some homies in the Discord. Like we've said some crazy shit over the years, and we kind of just like typed in certain words that I won't repeat here because I don't want to get canceled. But we typed it up, and then you just get a look at your younger self of like, oh yeah, the shit you were saying. It's like, fuck.
Oh, dude, the joke. I mean, I'm sure you guys had that same joke in your group chat. It's always like, man, I know none of us can get to politics because if these messages got leaked, we're cooked.
Oh yeah,
like there's no, no way we're getting into politics after the shit we said.
I know you seen that meme, the group chat, when the group chat gets leaked and then like the FBI is taking
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, it's every guy. And the funny thing is, it's like they think they're all unique, Taj. It's like, nah, I've seen other group chats from other groups of friends and stuff. They're all the same, bro.
Yeah.
Same memes, same bullshit's happening. One friend's drunk at 1 a.m. firing a paragraph that's every other word's misspelled. It's like, it happens.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a fan of people that try to like police other people in public. Like, you ever been told like to not curse? Like, by somebody like at a bar? They're just like, language, or hey, don't talk about that. Yeah. It's like, motherfucker, I know you've said worse in your lifetime. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God. Or somebody will say something like super inappropriate around me, and it'll be like, hey, like, didn't mean to say that. Should have kept that to myself. And I'm just like, bro, I've said worse.
I was at Polite the other day with some buddies, and my buddy that I was with, he's a little younger. He was dating a girl on Hinge. Didn't say anything disrespectful. Was just talking about taking a girl home. A guy at the seat next to us came over to us and leaned in. He goes, guys, can you not talk about that? I'm here with my girl. I was like, same thing as you. I was like, for real? You've never had this discussion? Like, you're acting crazy right now. So yeah, it happens all the time. Like, it's wild.
And like, let's not pretend that her and her friends aren't saying like the grimiest shit ever.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. When you're in the streets, everyone's holier. It's the first few dates, you got to be buttoned up. But like, everyone's saying the same shit.
Yeah, this is some wild shit. Side note.
Yeah. At
the beginning of this podcast, I did say we changed the name. Formerly known as Thought I Was Cool podcast. Now it's Futon Kitchen. And I know we've had this conversation before. The reason I changed it to Futon Kitchen was because when I was in 30 or my early 30s, I was down bad, going through life struggles like we all do, and found myself having to sleep in a kitchen on a futon. So yeah, fast forward, me and Zay, we were doing interviews and shit a year ago with the Thought I Was Cool podcast. And then when I said we're going to revamp this thing and get it going, I said, hey, look, I want to have something that's kind of like authentic. Yeah. You know what I mean? And something I can build off of. And I was like, all right, Futon Kitchen, because that was such a low point in my life. And like, that's kind of my approach to this podcast is like, man, like we're just working. Like, you know what I mean? You can only go up.
One thing, I think you should, I remember you telling me about the name it was like probably a month ago. And I asked you what the story was. And I remember you telling the story. I mean, I think that's like kind of an important thing I think that's a good story. Like I personally, man, I think that's an important story, and like it kind of ties the whole name together. Like,
all right, so to get into the Futon Kitchen story, I'm not going to give exact locations. I was living in San Diego, living with a now former friend, and I had lost my job. Had nothing to my name. You know what I mean? I'm waking up certain days trying to figure out like the fuck am I gonna eat, you know what I'm saying? Like shit. And at this point, like I had sold my car, like everything just went bad in like the same month. Got fired from my job, car stopped working, had a fucking had a 05 Honda Accord stick shift, stopped working.
Those never go bad, bro. That's the one car that doesn't go bad.
Oh yeah,
you were really going through it, bro. If your 05 Honda Accord went down, you were down bad.
05 Honda Accord was just,
that's crazy.
Yeah, wild. Like the person I sold it to had to get it towed.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that took away from the fucking fee. But yeah. So and on top of that, I was in school at the time. I was going to the Art Institute. I was over in Mission Valley here in San Diego, and yeah, shit was just bad. Struggling. I'm talking about I'm waking up every day like I'm fucking like stealing a little bit of food from my roommate, or just asking him like, hey, can I get a little bit of this, an egg or something, or like, and I was like, I think the only thing I had in my possession was like some fucking rice or maybe like some canned goods.
Holy shit,
and
bro.
So I was like, there was like a good week where like all I had was fucking like I would cook up some rice and then like some string beans. And then like I would have to divvy that up by like like breakfast, lunch, dinner, like rice and string beans.
Holy
you know what I'm saying?
shit.
Some days it was just rice. You know what I'm saying? Rice, mustard. Like, yeah.
I mean, that's actually that.
Hit the fridge, rice, mustard, breakfast, lunch, and like crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was going through it. And then obviously, like when you're going through it, you don't have money to pay rent. So I couldn't pay my boy.
Yeah.
And then at the time, I felt like he had come at me pretty aggressively about rent money.
Mm-hmm.
And just during that time period, like when you're going through it and then somebody kind of just like piles on, like, you know what I mean? It can fucking get under your skin. And it got under my skin. I ended up snapping back, and like we had a little bit of beef for a day or so. Yeah. And then I just said, fuck it, I'm out. And
probably smart.
I was like, can't afford to be here, I'm out. Had some other friends that lived in another part of San Diego that I'm not gonna say. just in case they hear this podcast. I don't even want to, like, you know what I mean?
Smart, man.
But had some other friends, and they said, hey, you can come stay with us, you can sleep in the living room or whatever. And okay, moved, lived with them, did that whole thing, got a new job, started to put some money together. The dude I was living with before, he had moved in his best friend and his best friend's girlfriend that he was cheating on his wife with.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yes, sir. He was
it's not like an MTV show. That's crazy.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like his best friend lived in a house down the street with his family.
What the hell?
Yeah, but he decided to cheat on his wife with some fucking thought, and then shit. he moved them in, and then somehow me and him had gotten in touch again, and then he was telling me, he was like, bro, he was like, they are so much worse. Like he was he was like, man, we're kind of going through it over here. He was like, this motherfucker, like, this is his best friend, by the way. Moose is his best friend. He's like, this motherfucker can't hold a job, drinking, smoking every night. You know what I'm saying? His girlfriend, she's a mess. Like she's lying to her parents, saying that she's going to school and she's really not going to school, and this whole bunch of bullshit. And he was just like, yeah, man. And I was like, I'm at where I'm at, but I was like, obviously I'm not trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to impose on my current friends for too long. I was like, they kind of took me in and said, hey, get your shit figured out, and then, you know what I'm saying, move on. And then he was like, hey, look, if you're looking to come back, he was like, we can work something out.
It's a safer bet for him at that point.
Yeah. So I come back, but his best friend and his girl had taken my old room.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's a 2-bedroom house, like fucking 1,300 square feet. Like not a super big spot.
Yeah.
And then come back, and then I think I got an Amazon futon, $300.
Yep.
Some fucking PVC pipe. Hey, bro.
The Bachelor Special.
Went and got went to Home Depot, got some fucking PVC pipe, and fucking built like this fucking this cage.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Divvied off in the kitchen. Had the fucking little $300 futon from Amazon.
There you go.
And I did that, and then like during my time period there, it was just the worst. I mean, you're sleeping in the fucking kitchen.
Yeah.
First off, you're living with messy people, like drug addicts.
It's always the worst.
You know what I'm saying? Partying hardcore every night. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not getting sleep, and then I got to go to work. I'm working at a job that I really didn't like. I'm not going to mention that job either. We're not going to do that on this episode, but in future episodes.
In
future episodes, we'll get into it. I'm working at a job that I really didn't want to be at, but I had to do it because I needed some type of money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, that shit slow came to an end when, before it came to an end, me and his best friend, who, like, I mean, we were cool / not cool. It was very clear me and him really didn't have a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, I was more like, I'm more chill about it. Like, it is what it is. I'm like, hey, like, I'm friends with this guy. You're his best friend. So, like, I'm not going to, like, let my personal feelings about you, like, spill over and then, like, a bunch of drama.
Yeah. He
wasn't the same way. He was like, take little shots in here, there, like,
being petty about it.
Play tough guy and all that shit. Came to a head one day when I come out, get off the futon, ready to eat about to eat some breakfast or something, and then I see some of my food is missing.
Oh no!
And I see him and his girl
eating the food.
him and his not wife, in the living room eating my food.
No.
And I'm like, first off, I don't got money like that. Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I eat everything that I buy. I'm actually still like that to this day.
I mean, you gotta be. You gotta be.
Yeah, I eat everything that I buy.
Yeah.
Nothing's just sitting around. And I was like, hey, what the fuck are we doing? Granted, this had built up from like a bunch of other like little things that had like I had let slide.
Yeah.
Like just for the sake of not there being peace in the house.
Yeah.
Story of my life, but we'll get into that on future episodes. But
I'm already plotting questions, bro. I'm already plotting.
Yeah. And then so I was like, hey, you guys ate my shit. You didn't ask me. I was like, what are we doing? I was like, the disrespect's gone too far. I was like, please don't touch my stuff. He pops off at the mouth. I don't give a fuck about you or your food, motherfucking. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What? That's wild.
Yeah, got to playing tough, and I lost it. I saw red. I fucking snapped, and like I was like, oh really? Okay. How about I knock your fucking head off your shoulders? Like,
Let's
so
go.
like
That's
he's over there on the couch. I walk up to him. Immediately his fucking girlfriend, like, she hops up screaming. She jumps up and like runs over to me and tries to like, she's like, no, please, no fight. No. She's like, don't hit him, blah, blah. And I'm like, get the fuck away from me. I'm yelling at her and I'm looking at him like, fuck you. Like, let's go. Step up. I'm like, square up right here in the living room right now. Let's get it. Or let's step out front. And like, you know what I'm saying? At this point, like, he's shaking. Like, he's still trying to say a little something, but he's fucking scared. And then like,
get in the middle.
Yeah. And it got to the point where like, I came in so hot that like, I started to seem like a bully and I was just like, all right, he don't really want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
you
then
can
like,
tell. Yeah, you can tell.
So I backed off. He obviously he tells our boy who owns the house when he gets home from work, and then like we all have like a little sit down, and then I pretty much just like I pretty much just spilled out. I was like I've let so much shit slide, you know what I'm saying? And I looked at him. I said you know your boy has been disrespectful, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's not sit here and pretend. I was like, you know, I've been letting him slide. You know what I'm saying? I was like it got to a head today. You know what I'm saying? And I was like,
which it was bound to. Yeah. It was bound to happen.
And I said now that it's here, I said, fuck it. Here's where I'm at. Hard line in the sand. Next time you disrespect, I was like, I'm going straight to violence. I was like, there's no more
middle ground.
Yeah. There's no more room for discussion or anything like that. It's just, I was like, it's just straight to violence. Obviously I'm saying straight to violence on the podcast, but I was just like, next time you overstep, I'm fucking you up. I was like, that's where we're at.
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. And then like, Taj isn't that tough guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not that guy, but like I can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be sometimes, you know?
It was warranted.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel bad about it either. I was just like, no, I was like, I'm gonna fuck this dude up. I actually kind of still stand where I stand to this day. I haven't seen him in a while, but
I hope we don't.
Shit, I hope we don't. After, and he tried to get me kicked out, said he didn't feel safe and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, whatever. So we stayed living there. But shortly after that day, him and the other guy, they started to have like their little, because homeboy couldn't pay rent, his girlfriend wasn't paying rent.
Yeah, of course.
But yet they're doing laundry every day, they're cooking every day, they're showering for a long time every day, they're making noise in the house, they're coming in 4 a.m, drunk as fuck, telling somebody you don't have rent money, and then you pull out a fucking 8-ball of cocaine,
living your life,
a handle of fucking liquor, and it's like, what do you mean you don't have rent money, but you got time to party though? Exactly. Yeah, so they got into it, and then they had their falling out, so they bounced, and then boom, I was back in my room.
There you go. Hey,
that's how that story went. So yeah, that's the Futon Kitchen story. A lot more, but
yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah. All right. So I guess is this the Taj interview now? But
I mean, hey, I'm here, bro. I'm here for it. You're probably far more interested than I am.
Let's do it. We're 40 minutes in. Yeah. What else you got for me?
Yeah.
Get to know your host.
Yeah. I mean, you were in Maryland, weren't you? That's where you were born and raised, right?
Born in DC, raised in Maryland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Born in Greater Southeast Hospital.
Funny, the other day at Rosie's, I played some Project Pat. I was like, I'm gonna put
I remember.
Yeah. Everyone else is kind of looking at me like, what the hell are you playing? I was like, I'm not playing this for y'all. I was like, I'm playing this for the fucking.
I'll put my job out there, but.
Yeah. Well, you know,
the fuck, man.
We'll cut it.
I know it's like it's all good.
We'll cut it. We'll cut it.
It's
out.
all good. It's all good. What up, Camry? How you doing? Well, yeah. Yeah, born in DC, raised in Maryland. Came up poor. Single mother.
I mean, yeah, like what? Like you asked me, like what was your home life like?
My home life, like I said, didn't have much. Single mom. Yeah. My grandmother, uncles, cousins, like they were involved. I think early on, I played basketball my whole life. So like early on, I used to
I mean, 6'5", I'd hope you play basketball, bro.
Yeah.
Like that would have been.
I mean, I wasn't 6'5" back in the 90s, but
that would have been a crime if you weren't playing basketball. Damn, bro.
But yeah, used to spend most weekends throughout the year at my cousin's house. I mean, they weren't rich, but they had a little bit more money than we did. They had a nice little single family home.
Yeah.
And I would spend the night with them. They had cable TV, and
there you go.
My cousin, who I called my aunt, like she would, you know what I'm saying, she was cooking dinner every night.
Yeah.
My uncle Mike, who I still get in touch with every now and then. Actually, I think the last time we spoke was a couple years ago. He was somewhat of a father figure to me, just like he was to my cousin Little Mike.
Yeah.
And then I played basketball with them.
So you have people looking out for you.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I had people looking out for me. And like I said, I consider myself a grandma's boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like, love my grandmother, and spent a lot of time at her house. Yeah. What was the question again? You said, what was childhood like?
Yeah. What was your home life like? Yeah. Childhood. I mean, all of it. Yeah. Like, what was your upbringing like?
Home life, like I said, if I wasn't outside like playing sports with friends, running around doing stupid shit, I was probably like in the house like playing video games.
Yeah.
I was never like you know what I mean? Like never really causing like too much trouble in the house.
We got to pause on the video. What was your video games? What were you playing?
Oh, come on, man. Madden.
Yes.
Madden, NBA Live.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, before that, my cousins had fucking consoles, so you know, we could take it back all the way back to Duck Hunter, Mario, Pokemon on the Game Boy Colors and shit. Yep. I remember I had a Game Boy Color. I don't remember how I got it. I don't think anybody bought it for me. It was a fucking metallic purple Game Boy Color.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Had Pokemon on that, and GoldenEye.
Oh yeah.
You already know how we get it in on there.
Mario Kart and GoldenEye, bro. That was a staple of growing up.
Yeah. Then that just moved up to like fucking Max Payne, Grand Theft Auto.
Yep.
I mean, obviously Madden kept going, NBA Live kept going.
Oh yeah.
And then by the end of high school, I was pretty much just like a Call of Duty addict.
Yeah.
Like
that's what happens when you're a grown man. You keep playing video games. At some point, you turn into a Call of Duty addict.
It's
part of growing up. You know?
So that's where I was at. But home life was always very like. I mean, outside of sports, I was very emotional when I played sports. For whatever reason, I was always like an outlet. Was never good with like referees. I would
choking the refs out.
You put me on the field or put me on the court, I just like I get something just comes out. Whereas in like I'm not even really focusing on the game. I'm kind of just in my fucking like, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess like as a kid I was, you know what I'm saying, I guess you can call it depressed. Like had anxiety, just very reserved, very quiet. Like I said, I was just chilling, playing video games, watching TV.
Yeah.
I mean, I was raised by a TV. You know, that's why I fucking love movies and television to this day, bro.
Yeah.
And man, that was that. And then my mom, she did the best he could.
Yeah.
He did the best she could. Shout out to mom, because I know you're gonna listen to every fucking episode. Yeah. She did the best she could. Going into my teenage years, I would say probably middle school, man, is like there slowly became like a disconnect between me and my mom. Mm-hmm. Similar to you and Larry, I kind of had that same situation with where I lived. We like I also have a younger sister, by the way. Okay. We were living in a very impoverished neighborhood in Maryland.
Yeah. Gangs,
drug dealing, all that shit. Shootings, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like you're at the dinner table, pop, 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 everybody's got to get down type shit. And then we moved to another part of Maryland. We were living in Prince George's County, Maryland, and we moved to Montgomery County, Maryland, which is predominantly white at the time. Now it's one of the most diverse places in the U.S., but at the time it was predominantly white. We moved there and living in Section 8 housing. Now I go from being like having like a bunch of friends that were in a similar situation to me, you know what I'm saying? Very poor, single parents, you know what I'm saying? Parents struggling to find jobs, this, that, and the third. Not everybody's parent has a car, you know what I'm saying? Most parents didn't have a car. Jeez. And then now I moved to an area where like everybody's got everything. And then like, it's just like,
such a contrast.
Yeah. I felt so much worse.
Yeah.
Like, because when you're surrounded by everybody that's just like you don't really you know what I'm saying? You don't really know.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you're kind of you're just living life. You're just being a kid. But then once you get around other kids that, you know what I'm saying, 2-car garages, they got on like fresh Columbia jackets, Hollister, like all this shit, like parents giving us rides everywhere. My mom didn't have a car and shit like that. Shit. So like I would say seeing those differences, it kind of the comparing and contrasting started. Yeah. In my mature or not, you know what I'm saying? Like it happened.
Yeah, you see it.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh man, what the hell? And then obviously, and you're coming into your teenage years anyway, so you're already going to be rebelling against your parents.
You're emotional. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was childhood. I honestly didn't like snap out of that until like probably like my early 20s, bro. I was just like, you know what? Like, I mean, let's just say adulthood, because at that point it's on you.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? Like, fuck the childhood, fuck how you grew up. Like it's on you now.
You gotta grow up, be responsible, take care of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously played basketball throughout high school. Swore I was going to the league.
We all did. We all did, Taj. Welcome to the club, bud.
Swore I was going to the league. Was so dedicated to basketball.
I was going to the league too, bro. What happened?
You did go to the league.
Nah, 5'5". I don't know if I was going to the league. 6'5". You had, what are you doing here? I had a reason. I was short. You don't really got very.
No, I'm at the paintball league. Like,
yeah, okay.
You're kind of hard to hit at 5'5". Like,
I had to get it how I had it,
So yeah, that and then obviously once you get towards the end of high school, like I was a horrible student, couldn't keep my head up. Yeah. Like very wasn't like loud or obnoxious or getting into fights or anything like that. It was just like I was the kid in the class that just could never pay attention, like always had my head down, was just not there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like there in the physical form. Sure. Everything else was like somewhere else, bro. Yeah. And then go home, video games, get that dopamine hit, and then go to sleep. Not a lot of sleep, wasn't the best sleeper. Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously I get out of high school, and then like you're just working retail, trying to figure out what's the next move. You know what I'm saying? What's my purpose? You know what I mean? What am I going to do to have a good life? You know what I'm saying? As a young man, I got into rapping.
No shit. Really? You got SoundCloud?
No. I don't think SoundCloud was a thing around this time. Was it like early 2010s? Was it?
Yeah, bro.
Oh shit. I don't think I put anything on SoundCloud though.
We're gonna find out.
But, yeah.
we're gonna find out.
I'll probably do that on social media one day, just like throw some shit up. I'm not gonna say my rapper name here, but cool. Did the whole rapping thing. I was super passionate about it. 'Cause I've always been a fan of music. Yeah. Knew how to put lyrics together. Was getting better at songwriting, and did some shows.
Oh shit.
My homie Pops, who a lot of people listening to this podcast, you probably won't know him as Pops. You'll probably know him as Andrew, but at the time he was DJ Fetish.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and then he was my producer, engineer. Gonna interview him soon too. He's fucking like he's doing very well. Like cool. I'm gonna get you guys introduced. But
please.
Yeah, he was my boy. And then fast forward through the 20s. I decided I didn't want to be in Maryland anymore. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I skipped over after high school, I moved to Florida. Lived in Florida for a little bit.
No shit. How long were you there?
It was probably like half a year.
That wasn't worse than Maryland?
Loved it. Just couldn't afford to be there. I was living with a friend and his family.
Whereabouts
in
Florida?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it's not too bad.
Actually, was it Fort Lauderdale? It was Broward County. I want to say.
Oh, okay.
I want to say Miami.
Yeah.
Super close.
I mean,
that line is right there.
Parts of Florida are lit. Parts of Florida are not lit.
I guess I was living in Miramar, and I guess Miramar would be technically Miami.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I lived there for a little bit, and then had to move back. Obviously, financial reasons.
Sure.
Couldn't even find a job when I was out there. I was like 20 years old, and moved back, and then that's when I got into rapping.
Yeah.
Because all I was doing while I was in Florida, that short time I was there, was just fucking writing in journals and talking to my boy who was going to Full Sail University at the time.
Oh shit.
And then he graduated from Full Sail. I moved back to Maryland. Boom, we collabed. Just started working together, formed a nice little tandem there. And then obviously, like, the one thing I hated about becoming a rapper was, like, everybody started rapping at the same time. I guess that's like a young man in your 20s thing. That's like
yeah, exactly.
Everybody has that phase where it's like I'm gonna do this music thing.
Oh, bro, right after you put the N64 away, you pull out SoundCloud. Like that's the natural progression of growing up as a man. Yeah.
So I'm thinking I'm a fucking standout, and I'm like,
Everyone's doing it.
I'm spitting, and they're just like, oh yeah, I'm working on a mixtape too.
Everyone's doing it.
Oh yeah, I just dropped a song here. Oh yeah, send me some beats. Like, I'm like, what? Like,
shit,
I'm
bro.
like, fuck, man, everybody's doing this shit. But like I said, that's part of being young. But as you get older, you realize everybody's doing everything. Everybody is doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, but it all comes down to who's the most consistent.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Who's dedicated?
Who's working the hardest.
Absolutely.
But so that was that, and then towards my late 20s, I decided I was like, yeah, I want to get the fuck out of Maryland again, and then I chose California. I was like, I don't know what part of California, but California.
Good place to choose. Yeah.
And then, because like in the 2010s, it was, I guess, we're not going to take the conversation to like political, but like
Sure.
during the 2010s, it was kind of like it was the place to be.
Yeah.
Or at least like being from Maryland, watching too much TV or listening to the radio and shit like that. It's like, oh shit, California, that's where you want to be. That's where
it seems great.
That's where all your dreams come true, and like it's like just the most perfect place. Blah blah blah.
Exactly.
And I was like, all right, bet Cali. And my homie got a spot out here. Hit me up. I was on a plane 2 months later. I think I was like 27, 28.
Oh shit.
And then been out here ever since.
Hell yeah.
Going through my bullshit. And then now we're podcasting.
Exactly, man. Yeah, you're figuring it out, bro.
Yeah, man.
It's a hard place to figure it out too, Taj. I mean, it's a lot easier to figure shit out in Ohio, like Iowa, places like that. Coming out here, it's a jungle, man. Like, I didn't realize that till I got out here. It's like, like you really gotta hustle. Like, you gotta have 3-4 jobs. Like, you can't, I don't say it's like you can't be stupid and lazy unless you have generational wealth. You cannot be lazy and stupid and make it work in California. Certainly not in Southern California. Like, it doesn't work.
Well, there's a lot of people making it work, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. But no.
We know quite a few of those people. They're but
exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, they lack the ambition.
Exactly. Yeah. They still got the laziness, Yeah.
But yeah, man, and you're right. One thing that happened to me living here was did a lot of growing up here. And I think I had this conversation with my mom. I said, one thing I had in Maryland was like, okay, you're surrounded by friends, and it was like, I might not get rich or see like high levels of success, but like I'll always be able to find a job here. I always know somebody. There's always a call I can make. There's always something. Yeah. And then you come out here, and then like you fucking fall flat on your face, and you're just truly alone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it forces you to see people different, situations different, like everything. And so like so my view is like, yes, this place taught me a lot of shit that I needed to know. Just like, I mean, you could grow up here, be super comfortable, and then maybe move to the East Coast, and then like you get that reality check. So like I got that reality check here, and it was good. I fucking needed that. Good, I tell a lot of people, like, I've been here about 8 years. I feel like I became a man out here. Yeah. I started thinking like a man out here.
It's good. It's good to have that that emotional epiphany in life where you realize that, like, not everything's given. It's not a fair. So my old man tells me this all the time. He reminds me every time we talk, Taj. He goes, the world just ain't fair, man. It's not a Disney movie. Dude, having that epiphany and like realizing like, man, nothing is guaranteed. Like that's truly, I think, the point of becoming like a mature man. It's like nothing's just given to you. You're not, but I think that happens for a lot of people in California.
And more importantly, I feel like I got more mature when I became unselfish. When I started, like, now it's like I want to be successful to like take care of my people. Sure. I don't really give a shit about the cars, clothes, hoes, and things like that. I mean, you fucking like, you go out a couple of weekends, you can experience all that. Yeah, like, exactly. Get around the right people. You know what I mean? Exactly. Yeah. You don't even need money to experience that shit. Like, exactly. You know what I mean? So, so like, I guess in my mind, what drives me these days is just thinking about taking care of family, thinking about taking care of friends. You know what I'm saying? Being in a position to, to provide value.
It's the emphasis of maturity right there.
Yeah. It's also what I like about this podcast, and what we're going to be doing in the future is we're going to be bringing people in, help them promote their brands.
Good.
I always said I never really consider myself the most talented person at anything, but I was like, one thing I can do is I can sit down and talk some shit. I can help big you up. You know what I mean? Yeah, and I can bridge the gap between you and some other people who you may want to work with in the future. You know,
it's a selfless thing to do, man. A lot of people want to put themselves on when they start a podcast. It's very rare that you see someone that's like, no, I'm going to do this and help other people out. So
yeah, I mean, I'm the voice you hear, so obviously there is a
right?
There's that little, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
There's that little, like, look at me, listen to me, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm the star, but like I feel like you got to have a little bit of that selfishness to do anything, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I'm just working that balance out. And all right. As we wind it down, when did you get into business?
Yeah, so dropped out of high school, played professional paintball for a bit. Was still playing ball, but my dad was kind of giving me these talks. Like, it was funny. He'd kind of give me these talks. Like, he's very dry. You know, he's not like a coddling kind of, you know, and I don't think he ever realizes that he's doing this. He's just very dry. Like, I swear he's probably going to see this. I think the man's got like Asperger's. Like, he does it, you know, and I love him for it because I need it sometimes, but he just doesn't have that, like, the way he delivers things are very, you know, off kilter, dry. And I remember he'd start asking me, like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? You know, and this man had you know, I mean, a little bit of background on him. He worked for the CIA when he was like very, very young. He was one of the first people really to know like computer sciences. Him and his boys worked for the CIA. He was, I always say, he's never said he was a spy, but he was working for the Saudi Arabian Royal Navy while he was still employed by the CIA, but yet the Saudi Arabian Royal Navy didn't know he worked for the CIA. And he's young.
Damn.
And so he's at that same time saving all of his money that the CIA is giving him, and he's building businesses, coming back to Colorado, buying houses, starting more businesses. He was good. But yeah, you know, my dad was an entrepreneur. He's always, you know, he's always been very self-sufficient. He's been a great businessman. You know, kind of a weird, maybe I'm talking more about him than myself, but like, yeah.
I think it all comes full circle.
It does.
I hear where you're headed. Like,
it does. You know, and like so he was a grade A student. He was raised in Calabasas. His father was like a very notable CEO of like a big prominent company. He had like, you know, like nannies and butlers and like, you know, and he got grade A's like the entire time he was in school. And his senior year, he was getting recruited to be a nuclear submarine engineer. Like had a great life ahead of him. And his senior year, he had done the math that he didn't need to go to his finals and he would still graduate with straight A's. Well, he didn't know that the year before California had changed a law that if you don't show up to your finals, you automatically flunk high school. So this man was brilliant, crushed in high school, was getting recruited to be a nuclear engineer in the Navy, and everything got kind of ripped away from him. And so he's hustled his entire life. So, you know, to come back to that, I'm coming back from paintball. I'm realizing I made a stupid decision dropping out of high school. I'm not making the money I thought I was. I don't have a diploma. I'm not going to college. Like, I'm smoking weed. I'm being a degenerate. Like, I'm not doing the things. And I remember at this time, it's so weird. One of the things, it's funny because I don't smoke weed now, but I used to be big into weed. And I liked nice pipes. Like, everyone else was like smoking out of like whatever, like $10 gas station pipe. I'd get like really nice bongs, like nice pipes.
Right.
And I started reselling them. And my old man, like, one day he saw me like buy a bunch of bongs from a guy and resell them, you know, make a couple bands. And he pulls me aside and he goes, is this a thing? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, are there stores that are doing this here in Denver? And I was like, nah. And the next day he brought me to a Starbucks and he has this notebook. And I'm like, I'm like, is he about to write me out of his will or some shit? I'm like, am I cooked? Is this it? And he goes, I'm going to teach you how to write a business plan. I'm like, okay. And we're sitting there drinking coffee. And at the end of it, he goes, opens his checkbook up. And he's like, we're starting a retail store. And I was like, what? And he goes, you think you can do that? And I was like,
get up on the mic for me.
I was like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, I think I can. I was like, this is something I could do. And so we started a retail store. In 2007, my old man helped me, and we sold like high-end glass pipes, like high-end vaporizers. Like we were like a gallery, like a boutique. Like it wasn't like walking into like the head shop at the end of Adams where it's like, you know, Bob Marley posters and incense and shit. Like you come in and it looks like a store from the mall, you know? And, you know, we were selling $30,000-$40,000 pipes at one point, like crazy shit.
What?
Yeah, like really wild stuff. And so we ran that store. We moved locations. Man, my old man was so dedicated to this, Taj. Like at one point in 2008, in the housing crisis, my old man, we couldn't find a place to rent, and he bought a commercial building. He was investment minded, so he's like, I know I'm gonna get it back on the back end, but he's like, I want you to continue working. So old man bought a building, and the building was so big we couldn't fill all with retail stuff. So he goes, we're gonna split half of it and do glass blowing on one side, and the head shop on the other, and it's gonna be an attraction. And we had employees. And the employees would always chirp at me. They'd be like, you're the business guy. You can't blow glass. So we started setting up. I told them it was security cameras, but it was cameras, and I would watch them blow glass. And every night I'd go home and watch them blow glass. Like after 2 years, I came and I was like, y'all are fired. I know how to blow glass now. And, so I was showing up at work at 5 a.m. And this is like right when I was like kind of becoming a man and realizing like hard work, you know, and I wanted to make my dad really proud. This is all when it's like everything's coming full circle. And, you know, so I was waking up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, getting into the store, blowing glass until like 10, opening the store. I was blowing glass when there wasn't a customer in the store, and then running over and helping him and selling a bong, and then going back to blowing glass. And then the store closed at 8, and I'd stay there till 12. You know, I'd go home and sleep for a few hours, and I was doing this, you know, for a while. Right. And we got out of retail. When we got out of retail, I started a glass blowing business, and the glass blowing business was doing great. Like it was like I was a huge brand in glass, and I was doing great. And at that time I had a fiance, a girl I'd been with for like 16 years, and and she was part of the company. You know, she was blowing glass on the side, and things didn't work out. And at that point I kind of wanted to change, and I was like, some things happened. Danielle, who you know, she was out here in San Diego. We'd known each other since we were like 13 years old, and she hit me up on Instagram or like Facebook one day, and she's like, "What's up?"
Oh, you guys have known each other that long,
bro? We met on Yahoo Checkers.
Oh shit!
Like I'm talking like 13 years old, bro. Like, and it's a crazy story. I'll give you the quick version. But she was with someone for 10 years, was married. She only followed my head shop. She didn't follow me personally on Facebook, Tosh. She followed my head shop. So when I closed my head shop, I go to Facebook and I say, turn off business messages, because I don't want to get messages from all these customers being like, are you guys open? What's going on? I turned all of it off. Well, she breaks up with her husband, and I'm breaking up with my girl, and I'm going through a Chick-fil-A drive-thru, and I'm looking at my phone on my dash, and it goes, Facebook business message. And I start to get pissed. I'm like, why is Facebook sending me business messages? The one message I got was from her, and she was like, yo, what's up? And life just aligned. And I was like, you know, my birthday's coming up. I'm gonna come to San Diego. And came to San Diego, and it was literally that first trip, brother. I had a home in Colorado. I called my aunt, who was a real estate agent, and I was like, we gotta sell the house. She's like, what? And I was like, I'm moving to San Diego. I'm in love with this place. And I moved my glass blowing business out here. And so yeah, business. Yeah, I guess to go full circle to your question, business has been much like you. It's been like the everything to me in life, you know, and not so much because I enjoy it, which I truly do. Like I love it. Like it fulfills me. It's challenging. It's struggling. Like it's hard, you know, but like it all comes back full circle. It's like, man, it's like I wasn't able to give my dad like, you know, hey, I got a diploma. Hey, I got a degree, you know, but it's like, it was fulfilling to see, you know, my old man was like, and he doesn't say it, you know, like it's weird. We're not like hugging each other, you know, like we're not like very like emotionally expressive, but like I could see that when he saw that I was a businessman, like it gave him some pride. So, but I'll always be a businessman. Like, even though I got my day job, you know, I always got side hustles around here. You know, I do digital marketing, I build websites, I, you know, blow glass. But business is everything to me, man.
The blow glass thing sounds like fucking illegal when you
I know.
say it.
No, it does.
the way you use it in conversation.
Well, bro, you know what's crazy is like, imagine going into Chase Bank and the guy sitting at the other end of the desk going, yeah, you want to set up a bank account? What do you do? And I'm like, you ready? You know, I've learned to tell him now.
Been blowing glass all morning, brother.
I hope the Chase Bank guy ain't listening, but I figured it out. I'm like, I make light bulbs, and they're like, for sure. here's your bank account. I figured out how to tweak it a little bit, or like I make scientific glass and they're like, yeah. Every once in a while they kind of side eye me and they're like, you're not making light bulbs. I'm like, I'm not making light bulbs either. But yeah, it's cool. It's weird though. Being a glass blower doesn't smoke weed, like it's a little bit of a juxtaposition, but no, I think that's why we've kind of bonded, a lot over the last 6 months, because you're an entrepreneur at heart, you're a hustler, and obviously your story. And, it's crazy how close, even though they're not exactly one-to-one, it's weird how close our lives are. And I think that's like when we started to kind of get friendly with each other, like even before I knew your story, like I you can kind of see someone's kind of got like the same values and principles as you. And I remember I'd leave at nights and I'd be like, man, Taj has got it in him. Like he's got that dog in him, and it's like, so I think it's one reason we've gotten along. We're entrepreneurs at heart. We struggled, we're here making it work.
What I've been trying to figure out lately is this mentality that I have now. Clearly it's something that you've had for most of your life. Is this mentality that I have now where it's like, what I'm saying, you want success, you want to hustle, you want to grind, you're willing to get up every day and work. Is it something that I adopted once I got here to California and then fell face flat?
Yeah.
Or was it always in me? And then maybe it was just something like it was just something internal. Maybe it was just something with my health. Maybe I was just like a fucking depressed kid, and maybe like I've always been that guy. It's just like the physiological, you know what I mean? Like there was just something wrong. You know what I mean? Well, maybe the testosterone wasn't there yet, or you know what I mean? And then like something, and then I guess being here, and then I guess it was just that that one pitfall that kind of just like be like, oh, like what the fuck have I been doing, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know, and not to kick myself too much, but like it does also, as much as I think about it, it also does piss me off. It's like fuck, man. Imagine like if I was thinking the way I'm thinking now when I was fucking 20, you know what I'm saying, 22.
Dude, we all
like,
think that
because I had homies who have that, you know what I'm saying, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah.
And like I'm gonna have a lot of them on this podcast.
But but the other end of that, Todd, it's funny you bring this up. I was talking with my old man about this the other day. What people fail to acknowledge sometimes is that you want to look up the mountain and look at the people that you see are doing better than you. It's like the Instagram effect, bro. You go on Instagram, you're gonna look at the people that got more followers than you, they're better dressed than you, got a hotter girlfriend, a nice Rolex, a Benz, whatever it is. You're not worrying about the other 5 million people that are behind you that are looking at you. They're looking at your back, going, man, I wish I had a podcast. I wish I was doing it. I wish I had a background. Like, you don't see those people, and naturally we're trained to not acknowledge that. We're competitive. Not just men, humans in general are competitive,
Yeah.
but like you're trained not to acknowledge that. And you can't, not like it changes anything, it doesn't change anything, but you can't forget that, bro. Like there's always going to be someone who's doing it better than you. There's always going to be Jeff Bezos. There's going to be Elon Musk, they're going to be out there, but like there's always those people looking at you that are like, man, I wish I had it.
Yeah. And one thing, being here in San Diego, let's shit on San Diego for a second. My personal opinion is like there's people that got money here. There's people that are doing very well for themselves, but I just don't think there's hustlers here. There's not many. It's very like
there's a lot of generational wealth and family money and like overseas money.
I've had conversations with other people and I was like, people like they're either like they're like broke and complacent, or rich and content.
Exactly.
There's
no in between.
Yeah, and I was like, there's nobody that's like, was like, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's make a move. Let's do something. Let's make some content or start a business. Like, they're definitely here. Obviously they're here, but I think they're like sprinkled around.
It's not as
city.
Relevant as the rest of them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I even heard a streamer say once, he goes by the name FaZe Rug.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's from San Diego.
Yeah.
Him and his brother, Brandon, who I played basketball with a couple times at LA Fitness years ago. Yeah, we balled, and I heard FaZe Rug say on a podcast once. He said, bro, this is San Diego. He's like, yeah, there's a lot of money here, but he was like, nobody's doing anything.
Yeah.
He was like, if you just try,
yeah, exactly.
If you just try, you stand out.
Yeah.
He was like, he was like, for a city that has so much, he was like, there's not really people that really give a fuck and are willing to take advantage of the opportunity. Everybody's just kind of like happy with what they're doing, and that is for better or for worse, that is like kind of like boosted my confidence,
as it should.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, in Denver, there's not a dude pulling up in a G-Wagon at 2:30 in the afternoon to go shop at Lululemon. In San Diego, there's 100 dudes pulling up at the mall in G-Wagons to go shop at Lululemon. They don't got a job. They got money from other places. You know, they're not worrying. They're not struggling. They're not living in a futon in the kitchen. You know, it's like that's not a thing. But yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, here you can just give it a little bit and it goes a long way. But
all right, so let's close it out by let's talk about ASRV. What got you into ASRV?
Yeah.
We're both wearing the hats. I don't know if we mentioned that in the beginning of the episode. Shout out to your squad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. ASRV gang, let's go.
Yeah, would love to talk to the rest of the crew one day.
Of course.
But
I'd love to as well.
How'd you get started there, and what are the plans for the future? Let's close out on that note.
Yeah. So ASRV I've been wearing for quite some time. I've always been I've been a clothing fan for a long time. My buddies used to have a streetwear store back in the day. I was wearing like Bathing Ape in like 1999. Like, even though I was nerdy as hell in high school, bro, like I had a taste for clothes. Like, I was wearing like,
you said you had black friends. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, dude, even then, that was before then. They didn't know that, like, you know, this is like pre Lil Wayne, you know, on Complex cover era, you know. But I love clothes. I started getting into physical fitness a lot right before I moved to San Diego, and I liked, you know, I wore a lot of Nike. I love that stuff, ACG, but like ASRV kept popping up on my Instagram feed. They had like 17,000 followers. And so one day I clicked an ad, bought a hoodie. It's like 7-8 years ago. Just got insane compliments on it. And so when I was running my own companies, my dad one day told me, he's like, you know, you can go to college and you can pay to have someone teach you. Or maybe I shouldn't say, he's like, you can bullshit your resume and get a job somewhere and get paid to learn a bunch of stuff, and it translates into your own business. And that always resonated with me. I was like, dude's weird, but he's got it, you know? And so I'd set these goals for myself. I'd be like, at this board, I still do, like, companies that I want to work with, that I'm going to work. It's like Oakley. Like, I know I'm going to work with Oakley at some point in my life. Like, I was a big mountain biker. I wanted to work with Fox Shocks. You know, I want to work with Nike. Like, and not so much because I love the brand, but because I know that they're doing something right and something's going to rub off on me. And, you know, it's going to turn into something. So ASRV, at one point, I set this board. It's so weird owning your own company, being at your own company, having employees, and they see this on the board and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, I'm gonna work there someday. And they're like, but you're my boss. What? You know, it's like, so I had it on my board, and it just so happened ASRV moved to San Diego right around the time that I did. So I saw warehouse positions and I started applying for them, which is weird. Owning your own company, living in your own house, you own a house, like, you got a car, you got a whole life, and you're like, I'm applying for a warehouse position because I know I'm gonna get my foot in that door.
Right.
And they never hired me. So I kept beating on the door. And I was a marketing director for a vaporizer company. And I left there, and it was that day, to make myself feel better, I went to go buy some ASRV. And one of the clothes came messed up, so I reached out to a customer service rep, and I was talking to her, and she's like, you know, we're bullshit. And she goes, I told her I used to own retail, and she goes, we're opening a retail store at a mall down here. Would you be interested in working there? And I'm typing my message up, and I'd be like, nah, like, pound sand, I'm not working at the mall, 37 years old. And I stopped, and I was like, wait, this is my foot in the door. I was like, I can eat shit for a while to get my foot in the door and get up in the company. Yep. So I took an assistant manager role at the mall, which was not, you know, it's not great at that, you know, but I knew I still had my own thing going on. And so I got the job there, and I hustled, and I met the CEO and the founder. We got along great, and met the VP. We got along great, ran the store real well. And I set a job reminder, like on Google, you can set like keyword reminders for, like, you know, if a job pops up from this company. And I rolled into work one day. I'd been working there for 3-4 months, and they said they needed a product developer. I'd never been a product developer, didn't know what it was. All I knew was that it was HQ. And I came home that night, and I was like, I'm getting that job. So I wrote like 10 versions of my resume, you know, like, just really trying to let them know. And I got an interview, and the interview went great. They invited me up to HQ, met with the owner, met with my future boss. And yeah, I've been there for 1.5 years. I work in the design department now, which is, like, to me, it's the coolest place to be in that company. Like, we got like accountants, and we got a marketing team, but like product team has their own little office in back, and we got, like, you know, like music and fabric, and, like, you know, we're all vibing back there. And it's cool because it's like, you know, we do fittings, and I'll see a hoodie, and it's like I can look at the CEO and be like, yo, man, we should do that in camo. Or, yo, we should put some 3M on there. Or it'd be cool if we moved this logo up. And I've always loved the clothes, and I still love the clothes, obviously, you know. And it's been really fulfilling because I've learned a ton there. and the CEO, I can't say enough about him, Jay Barton. He's a great guy, great role model.
Shout out Jay.
Far younger than me, and he was Forbes under 30 under 30, like very, very intelligent kid. Like I say kid because he's younger. I mean, he's a grown man. He's a very intelligent guy, and but it's just a privilege to be able to go in there and work on a brand that, like, I love the product. And we don't see it a lot. I know we don't see ASRV a lot, but every once in a while, man, I'll be somewhere in San Diego and I'll see someone wearing a piece that, like, I've helped with, and, like, it's fulfilling, you know? So I love it there. It's a great company. We obviously make great clothes. But yeah, man, it's like,
told you I rocked the hat in the gym a couple times, put it on social media. Like,
I appreciate you, man. Yeah. You know, and it's funny. People always ask me, they're like, oh, you just wear it because you get free clothes. And I'm like, trust me, I'd be wearing it even if I didn't work there, you know. It's good quality stuff. But it's fulfilling. I've learned a ton there. It's a great team. I've networked there. Some of my best friends I've ever met have been in that company, and I get to work with them every day, you know. So I'm blessed. Like, yeah, it's been a godsend. So.
Oh yeah. So what's the future look like?
Oh man. It's a good question.
In the jump in, while you think about that.
Yeah.
You said a lot of key things, which is why I think we're friends. Is like you said, get a foot in the door, eat shit for a while. Something that I just, like, you know, that just hit me within, like, the past 2 to 3 years. I had a conversation with, like, this older military dude. It's funny. I get out of a dentist appointment. I go to a bar, and then
as we do,
yeah, older black gentleman. Ex-military. He said he's where is he from? He's from Louisiana. And then and we were just talking about what it's like to have goals, and, you know what I'm saying, go after what you want. And he said one thing he learned in the military, obviously this guy got out the military, owned businesses, and very successful. Now he's, like, retired, he's chilling. Sure. And then and he was like, one thing I learned in the military was, he was like, you got to eat shit.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
He was like it's okay. He was like, you eat shit. He's like, you're going to take a lot of shit for a while, but he was like, you're going to learn. And he was like, stay ambitious. And what else did he say? He said something along the lines of, not these exact words, but he said, it's time, like, go on the offensive. I'm telling him my story.
Yeah.
And he's like, be shameless, go on the offensive.
Oh yeah.
And then, I've had conversations with older guys about this before too. There was, like, pinpoint exactly what you want.
Yeah. And
it was like, go on the offensive. They were like, stop. They was like, fuck it. At the end of the day, you're going to die.
Exactly.
So why not?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they
you
said,
get one shot, bro.
They said there's nothing wrong about being loud about it, being ambitious, and yeah, shameless, and just be on the offensive. Like,
pride kills motherfuckers, Taj. It kills people's dreams. Egos kill people's dreams. People want to be better than everyone, and the best thing you can do, the most prideful and egotistical thing that someone can do, is eat shit, put your foot into the door, and grind. Like, and I know that people don't want to hear that, and people probably disagree with me. I say it all the time. Like, that's the true litmus test of one's ego and strength. Is like, eat some shit for a while, put your foot in the door, grind, you know. But I'm always gonna do that. Like, you know, it's like I said, I'm gonna work at Oakley at some point. Probably gonna start a retail store. You know, it's like if I have to sweep if I got to sweep the floors at Oakley, you know, I'm gonna sweep the floors at Oakley, you know. But no, my future is I got some business ideas. I'd love to get back to retail, even though e-commerce, direct to consumer, is kind of changing the topography of that sector. But I'd love to have a retail store on Adams. You know, I love Normal Heights. You know, it's like my home now. It's my neighborhood.
You've mentioned that to me from time to time.
I know, yeah. You know, so I got my eye open.
You even threatened to be my new boss.
I know. Hey, I don't know about that. You know, we'd be.
You're like, I might have to buy this place, Tyler. And I was like, this guy drunk.
Yeah, I mean,
serious.
You know, crazy shit happens when you're drunk. But no, yeah, I'm gonna get back to business. I'm chilling right now. Happy to just be stable, have a great place to go to work every day, great friends around me, in a great place. So yeah, I'm blessed, man. Shit could be a lot worse.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, Chris,
appreciate
thanks
you
for coming,
man.
bro.
Of course, bro. I appreciate you.
It's been a long time coming.
I know.
Oh,
we've been talking about it for months, bro.
I know. Hey, Spotify, Apple listeners, YouTube, SoundCloud people. Hey, thanks for hanging on. Those of you that are returning, sorry it's been so long. To the new listeners, hey, I'm so glad to have you. More coming. That's Chris Keller. I'm Taj Ayana. This is Futon Kitchen. Tune into the next one. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.